All right. Thank you very much for joining me, Simon and Dr. Paul Lee. Welcome to this session that we put together. It's nice to be able to catch up with you guys, although remotely. So I'm here with the main people, at least 2 out of the 3 main people behind ReGov Tech, a company that has actually gone live a few days ago on pitchIN. Right? So here we are actually trying to get to know the founders of companies better. So let's try to see what motivates you guys and what's driven you all towards starting ReGov and what you've been doing before this, right?
Yeah.
So before I start, just a quick introduction of each of you. So maybe Dr. Paul Koo first.
Hi everyone. Again, thanks pitchIN and Cash for organizing this. A very quick background on me. I'm an entrepreneur. This is my 3rd company that I work on. Well, I came from the fund management industry. A big chunk of my career is there. About 5 years ago, moved into a fintech area, which going forward, this is the, in principle, this is the majority of my operation at this moment of time, and also my focus.
All right. Simon, over to you.
Yeah, so hello everyone. Thank you, pitchIN, for having us here for this conversation. So I'm the tech guy in the partnership. So I'm a computer scientist by education. Have been in the IT industry now for 18 years, if I count my time here in ReGov Tech as well. Worked for big multinationals in 9 different countries across the globe, mainly focused on building IT teams and development teams and analytics teams that deliver against various different business objectives. And before Paul and I joined together forces for ReGov, I also started one of my own companies, a tech business, which was a great lesson learned for me. Meaning I shut down the company, but it was still a great experience for me to learn before taking both my corporate experience as well as my personal startup experience into running ReGov now, which is also my full-time job. So I have no other side gigs. So leading an organization like this takes all my energy, at least at this juncture.
Interesting. Okay, so Simon, at least you have gone through the startup phase of having experienced a startup failure. That's interesting. But here, okay, so Simon, I understand you're a German, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right. So how did a German and a Malaysian meet? So how did you guys meet up? Go ahead.
Well, it all started way back in September 2018 when Simon was reaching out to me for help.
Yeah, this was back then when I was starting my InsurTech startup at the time. That was intended to help B40 to take care of their health. And I was asking Paul for advice how I can obtain the support of the regulator. And at the time, Paul was running the only InsurTech under the Bank Negara sandbox framework. So I felt, okay, that's a great advisor I need to have with me. And therefore he was naturally the right person for me to have to strike a conversation with.
So
okay, go ahead.
When I first met Simon for a very, very short conversation, I think it's about 10 minutes or so, somewhere around there. I was really impressed by his passion in using technology to support a culture of inclusion and also his technical know-how in blockchain. So the next morning, I proposed to barter trade with him. So my knowledge against his expertise.
Interesting. So this was a decision to come together that was done within less than 24 hours, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's very interesting.
To be exact, it's actually about less than 16 hours.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And you guys
in the morning, and this is from where the journey started. So.
Okay. And actually, there seems to be a perfect mix here because when startups go forward and start something, you need someone with domain knowledge, and that's Dr. Paul Koo right there. And then we have got someone with the technology, that is Simon, right? Okay, so you're looking to build this, but what's the story behind ReGov? Why did you want to come in and do something in this this area of this part of this business?
Well, I'm a passionate believer in digital transformation and also using deep tech to reshape, the world. Knowing the potential of enterprise blockchain back in 2016, and later in 2018, I formed ReGov Tech to be a change catalyst in the financial services industry. I believe using blockchain platform to replace outdated core system is a way forward to massively slash costs and drive efficiency. With this transformation, end consumer will be rewarded with competitive pricing, and ReGov has indirectly bring financial inclusion to the underserved.
Okay, so this idea that you have, right, the story behind ReGov was what we see today on pitchIN, and by the way, it's doing very well. Your campaign is doing very well on pitchIN. It's already, raised a large sum of money, large number of investors. What you envisaged at that time when you started out to build it and what it has become today, is it the same, or did you guys evolve the idea along the way?
I think we have evolved quite substantially. The idea, if you look into ReGov itself, the whole ReGov came about is to re-engineer, the R stands for re-engineer e-government. So initially we were positioned to develop e-government initiative. And throughout, I think after 18 months of drought, we realized that, hey, we can't just stick to e-government space without having a contract. That is where we decided to move back to my domain, which is the fund management industry. And that is the period that we secure our first contract. And right after we have secured our first contract, within the next 3 months, we secure another 3 more contracts.
Okay, so another classic pivot again, right? You guys started something and then you found that back to another area where it's better. All right. So with regards to, I'm trying to get to know you all better, right? You did say that you started something, both of you have started something. Maybe a little bit more about that. Maybe Simon, you first, what was that venture that failed? Tell us about it.
Okay, good. What I started, as I mentioned, it was in InsurTech. And the idea here was to take the approach of how people in villages and the kampungs take care of each other. Right? So I was really inspired by a story I read about a woman who had issues with her teeth and didn't have the money to see the dentist. And then all the people in her village, they came together and everybody gave a small amount and then she got her teeth fixed. Right? And I felt, hey, there has to be a way how to use technology to create this kind of, I call it kampung insurance experience, where basically a collective can come together, everybody chip in with some money, and then we can protect ourselves against health issues, fire, or any other disaster. We as a collective feel is important. So my whole idea was about, I take out all the middlemen, I take out the insurance company, and I automate all the background processes so that villages or cooperatives or groups of co-workers or groups of friends, they could come together and they could form their own insurance. So this was the principal idea. Now, what happened, and I got with it into a UN CDF accelerator program, so I got some support from the UN for that. Why it ultimately became a learning, I think, is two main reasons. One, there was a lack of product market fit, right? Because what I assumed is the main thing I need to achieve is cheap. If I make it cheap, people will use it because they don't have money, so this is their main problem. What I didn't see so clearly, that the trade-off I was suggesting, okay, I make it very cheap, but you will have to deal with some complexity.
Okay.
Right? And this additional complexity that the insurance company normally takes out of the process for the customer, was not appreciated by my target market segment, right? So this is what really didn't work out. And I think the second thing is, and this is where for me meeting Paul really helped, is well, the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? So if you know very little about the domain, yeah, then you believe you totally figured out all the issues. Now, when you start learning more, you actually realize how little you know in all reality, yeah, and that maybe there's a reason why nobody has done it before, yeah, because maybe it's really, really tough. Yeah. And yeah, so that's as I'm phasing out the business. I was also ramping up my involvement into ReGov then at the same time, as both Paul and I, we could see, okay, yeah, well, ReGov is the greener pasture to drive financial inclusion in a way that actually works.
Okay, don't give up that idea just yet. Maybe this time had not come, so maybe another time could be addressed. You never know. Dr. Paul, what have you learned from your previous businesses and the ventures that you have done?
Well, you know, big chunk of my entrepreneur career is owning the largest wealth advisory firm in Malaysia, which I sold off to UOB Kay Hian May this year. And I think it's interesting to work with so many people. At the peak of it, you know, there's about 300 of us under that organization. One thing I realized I think is really important is people. People is the asset of the company, and also is the most important, you know, wealth to any companies. And I've learned to deepen my relationship with staff, with everyone, creating a big shift in their thinking, behavior, and priorities. You know, again, I think these are the things that is important in driving startup like ReGov to greater heights.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at your deck and the stuff that you put on pitchIN, right? I can see in terms of the team, you have built a very strong team. Right? You've got a very strong team of leadership team, as well as the team that's running it on day to day, right? Okay, coming back again to ReGov time again. What's a typical day like? I mean, you guys are involved in the company, right? So what's a typical day for you, Simon?
Okay. I mean, the good thing about being a CEO in a growing company, there is no typical day. So every day is totally different. But one thing I can do, give me a second, Cash. So let me just open my calendar so I can tell you what I was doing yesterday.
Okay.
Okay, so I think I got up about 5 a.m. in the morning. 6 a.m. I was in the office. I spent about an hour answering messages and emails, of course, mainly by interested investors that are considering to come in via pitchIN. Then 7 to 8, I was in a deep dive with 2 other team members that start early looking into the product roadmap for Omni, one of our products, and optimizing the next delivery priorities. And then after that, I spent about 3 hours doing my monthly check-ins and reviews. So I make sure that I talk with everybody in the team at minimum once per month, looking at their career progression, their personal development, giving them some feedback, be it related to performance or personal development. So I did that. Then there was the leadership team meeting for half an hour, which was culminating into eating lunch and checking social media and answering some more emails. This time, if I remember right, it was more customers I was responding to. And then over 12:01, the lunch hour, we had our transparency hour. That's one thing I do once per week. I just give a business update to the whole team over lunch. Just telling them, hey, this is what is going on. This is where our KPI stands. This is where we are successful. This is where we are having some challenges, so that everybody knows what's going on. And we also practice a kind of an open Q&A culture. So during this hour, also everyone can raise any topic they want to discuss in the team. So it's kind of a semi-structured team meeting that is about the business and not about the day-to-day. After this calls suppliers, one potential investor, 2 customers, some pre-sales activities I would say I was doing. And then, yeah, when the evening became a bit more quiet, I think then I worked 3 hours to create a pitch deck because I want to upsell, or I wanted to upsell today in the morning one of our clients on an additional solution we think they need and we can provide. Went pretty well, actually, by the way. And yeah, then before I left in the evening, I was sitting together with some of my managers, doing some coaching around the challenge he was facing. And I think by 8 I was at home and playing with my daughter and then going to sleep.
Okay.
Yesterday.
All right, that's a pretty heavy work day. Let me advise you to get some exercise in also, Simon, here and there.
Yes, Paul keeps telling me as well. It's true. That's the one thing I'm not fitting into my schedule enough. Absolutely.
Paul, what's your typical day like?
My typical day will start at 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Again, I think age is catching up. Can't sleep a lot. Waking up very early. I started with a prayer. So prayer is the beginning of my day, and right after that, I think it's more of the time in strategize, thinking, and looking at how to actually move forward. So I concentrate and work on a number of areas, especially in working and creating a atmosphere that the senior executive can work pretty well. I think we are driving the culture of the top management. I think this is where we spend a little bit more time at putting a lot more effort. And the other areas that I was driving is, again, financial side, the financial management, seeing investor, and last but not least, executing strategy, looking at progress. These are the main element that part and parcel of my life, daily life. And last but not least, working with the fund managers, our customers, because I was from that industry. I understand their issue and understand their problem. And most of them know me anyway. So that is where, getting closer to our clients is so important for us to move things forward.
All right. What's this ReGov that you have started? What's the most gratifying thing? What do you really like about what you're doing at ReGov, or maybe the impact?
Well,
Paul,
as I've shared earlier on, we have 18 months of drought. Imagine 18 months of drought, zero revenue. It's a period that I least enjoy. But also at that moment of time, at that moment of difficulty, the most gratifying moment for us was during that drought, when all our staff voluntarily reduced their pay to ensure the survival of the company. And we all make all of them. What we do is we make all of them our shareholders. We still cherish the moment when all of us came together as one unit, one team, to keep pushing for victories. Without this fighting spirit, you won't be seeing the successes we see today.
Okay. In a way, I think ReGov prepared for the pandemic before the pandemic. Okay, Simon, what about you? Any comments on that?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of things gratifying. For me, as I spent so long in the corporate world, 17 years, this is very often a comparison. So one thing I really enjoy is that there's very little nonsense when you run a startup, and also how we run ReGov, right? So I was recently talking with one of my friends, and she said, hey, I spend about 50-60% of my time on politics every single day. And I felt, no, I don't do that. I work with my team. I develop solutions. I work with my clients. So yeah, I waste a bit of time every day as well, but I feel the majority of what I do now is really focused on creating value, be it for the team, be it for my shareholders, be it for my customers. And that's really something I love about being here at ReGov. Another thing is, and I think Paul mentioned that, we have a really great team. I mean, the team is really awesome.
Sure.
So a couple of months ago, my wife asked me, hey, do you like working in the startup world at ReGov now better than your corporate experience. And I remember one thing I told her, I said, yeah, you know, I would be happily going out to have a drink or dinner with every single one of the people I'm meeting on a daily basis. Now, in my old job, I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
There were a couple of people where I was happy when, you know, they left the meeting. So it's personally a very gratifying experience. Yeah. And of course, as Paul said, yeah, we went through hard times, yeah, and now seeing also the success, yeah, seeing that we get traction. And I mean, the last 3 months, the traction was massive. So it was a bit like, hey, you get the first contract, and then everybody else jumps at the same time. Yeah, and now one of my biggest problems is how fast can I hire people so I can actually meet the demand that is coming my way. So that's a super, super happy problem.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great problem to have. Huh? To have a lot of order books, or a lot of stuff on your order book. That's really something that that companies will look forward to. So I too, you know, we find that the same thing, right? So pitchIN also expanded and really exploded during this year, right? A lot of companies came to us, and I can see why you are so gratified being able to work with so many clients. And also, I keep hearing about the team and the people, and that's really good that you are with so many people that you like and can catch up with. Okay, now moving away from the company, right? We all are entrepreneurs, we are business people, we try to grow our company. But who do you look up to when you look up at when you think about growing a business? Where do you get your inspiration from? Who's that one person or some business or CEO, for example, that you look up to? Simon?
Yeah, okay, I'm going to start with something very cheesy now. So I look to two people, and one is, I think, a lot of entrepreneurs mention Steve Jobs. Yeah? I don't appreciate his management style, yeah, but what I appreciate is that he said, hey, I need to show the customer what they need. I need to show the customer what will add value to them. And I think every tech company needs to follow that. You know? So if you wait for somebody telling you that they need faster horses, then you're out of business. You know? So that's something I really take to heart. The second person, which is an inspiration to me, is my mother. You know?
Okay.
I mean, she raised my brother and I as a single mom while building her own career at the site as well. You know? So, I mean, whenever I think about, hey, I'm working really, really hard, and you know, it's already 8 o'clock and I'm not yet home, I think about that woman who basically worked 14 hours per day, either at work or at home with her children, and did that for 15 plus years, you know, without interruption, without vacation. So that keeps me motivated, to give my best, work hard, and also have a real life example where you set clear expectations, you stick to your values, but at the same time you still remain compassionate, you remain filled with love, even when you're stressed, right? And this is something I really took away from my mother.
Okay.
I believe it helps me to be a better leader as well.
Okay. Dr. Paul?
Well, I still remember seeing this picture of Jeff Bezos in a very small office way back in 1999, where the tech bubble burst, and he struggled through, and he persevered. And up to today, they are the biggest company in the world at the moment. I just simply like his leadership style, the way he handles his people, the way he's growing relationship with people. I think that is my biggest inspiration. He's also creating such an environment to allow star to shine, and that actually lead to the Amazon we see today.
Yep. Yes, I think that picture, the one with in a small room seated in the table, right? Yeah, that was very inspiring to me too. In fact, I think of that picture even more than all the garages and all that all the earlier startups always claim that it started in a garage, because that to me was a real person sitting in a room and typing away, and to see that company has grown to be Amazon. Yeah, that's been very inspiring. Right. Okay, so what's your vision for ReGov then? What are you all hoping to make ReGov into? If I just ask you in one sentence, right? Paul, what's your aspiration for
Well,
ReGov?
as I think since small, I have this fascination about future technology, the technology for tomorrow. If you look into Star Trek, yeah, beaming a person from one location to another, I think that's fascinating. And what I envision ReGov to be is, to build a blockchain AI platform that allows some of this futuristic uh, uh, function in there. We are building it for the fund management industry today. Tomorrow we'll be extending to the entire capital market ecosystem. I think that is interesting. Seamless, instant, efficiency are the new standards. Allowing men in the street, moms and pops to easily access investment opportunity. I think that will be the tomorrow that we want to see.
Sure. Yeah. Is that aligned with what you want to do, Simon? What's your vision for ReGov?
I mean, it's actually the same thing. I can only put it in different words, right? So for me, ReGov and its technology is an accelerator for financial inclusion because, I mean, we are not a fintech that puts out another app. What we do is we empower the existing players in the ecosystem, the fund managers, the insurance companies, the banks. So we empower them to bring their costs to a level where it just becomes intelligent for them to onboard somebody who is not that wealthy. Where it just becomes good business. We don't need to change them into better people, or we don't need to make every banker an altruist. We just need to make sure that his KPI says onboarding this person is intelligent. So I will do it, right? And then I think this is what we are achieving with blockchain, AI, and automation in general. And of course, hopefully, while we are doing that, we become a billion-dollar company.
All right. Well, I certainly hope so. And I believe the 99, so far I saw on your campaign up to today, and on the day we take this, we're taping this, they have 99 people who have put money, over 1.6 million. And I'm sure they are also hoping that the ReGov goes on to become a huge company, a unicorn and all that. It's been nice talking to you, but we always end with one thing, right? We're going to play a small game, 5 questions. Just choose which one is your preference. I think I know when they come to after question number 3, I know what answer Paul will give, but never mind. Let me just ask you. I start with you first, Simon. Question 1, Bitcoin or Ethereum?
Bitcoin.
Paul, Bitcoin or Ethereum?
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Okay. Paul, WhatsApp or Telegram?
WhatsApp.
Simon, WhatsApp or Telegram? WhatsApp. Okay. Paul, Bezos or Zuckerberg?
Yeah, you have the answer.
I have the answer. What about you, Simon? Bezos or Zuckerberg?
That's easy. Bezos, clearly.
Okay. Food Panda or Grab?
Grab.
Grab. Simon? Food
Grab.
Panda or Grab? Grab. Okay. Physical or e-books?
Physical.
Physical. Simon?
E-books.
E-books. All right. All right. I think I get to know you all better now, and I'm sure we look forward. At pitchIN, we'll be working a lot more with you, and let's make this campaign successful. And after that, we'll get to know. I'm sure we get to know you all better as we follow your journey along to becoming a unicorn in the space of the of these Bitcoin-enabled, I would say, technologies that you're creating, right? So with that, I want to thank both Dr. Paul Khoo and Simon for joining us on Conversation with Founders. Here we have the founders of ReGov Technology. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Bye.
Right.